join to Question Time on Islam, live from the Ahlebait studios here in London, with your host Naveed Hussain, and alhamdulillah, with our Islamic scholar, Syed Muhammad Musawi. Call in, text in any questions, any comments that you would like to make, and our Islamic scholar will try his utmost best to answer your question. Syed, a very good evening to you, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and all our brothers and sisters, and may Allah enlighten our hearts with more useful knowledge and keep us always on the right path, following the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his holy progeny, and his holy progeny after him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajjil farajahum.
Thank you very much indeed. Said that I'd like to begin this evening program regarding the upcoming death anniversary of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. If you can shed some light upon Imam alayhi salam, and what was his main role as the Imam during his lifetime, obviously during his period of Imamah.
No one from our infallible Imams died natural death. So I don't say at all death anniversary, but I say martyrdom anniversary. So Imam was being martyred. Imam Jafar al-Sadiq was being killed by poison by the tyrant ruler of his time, whose name was Al-Mansur. Al-Mansur was a criminal ruler who was enemy of Ahlul Bayt, who killed many of Ahlul Bayt and tried many times to kill Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam, and then ultimately he did kill him by poison. Al-Mansur was from Abbasides, and the Abbasides were politically against Bani Umayyah, and they always used the name of Ahlul Bayt to claim the government. And when they got the government, they turned against Ahlul Bayt, and they killed many of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So this man Al-Mansur, who's known by Abu Ja'far Al-Mansur, and also famous by the name of Al-Dawaniqi. So this man was always trying to harm Ahlul Bayt. About Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, it was continuous struggle between Mansur al-Dawaniqi against Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi came to Medina, and he wanted people to come out to receive him, being the king. So Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam did not go to receive him, but other people went to receive him. So Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi gave an order that all religious issues, all religious matters should not be referred to Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq at all. All should go to Malik, who is known by Imam Malik bin Anas. Malik bin Anas was always praising Al-Mansur, and he was with those who went to receive him. So Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi gave an order that Malik bin Anas is the religious authority in the whole government. So all those who used to be the Imam of the Jum'ah or the Qazi or any religious responsible person should be following Malik bin Anas. And now when you look at Africa, many of the Muslims in Africa are following the sect of Malik bin Anas. Originally, and in the history, the government of Bani Abbas, they started spreading the sect of Malikism from the time of Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi. Imagine Al-Mansur gave an order to his ruler over Medina, told him, burn the house on Ja'far bin Muhammad. And the ruler, obeying the order of Mansur al-Dawaniqi and disobeying Allah, sent his people who threw fire on the house of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, and the house was set in fire from every side of it. Of course, the house had ladies, children, the family of the Imam. Imam took them away, and Imam was walking inside the water, inside the fire, and saying, "Ana ibn Araq al-Thara, ana ibn Ibrahim al-Khalil." I am the son of the prophets, and I am the grandson of Ibrahim al-Khalil, the great prophet. And as the fire did not harm Ibrahim al-Khalil when he was thrown inside the fire did not harm Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. So that was also a trial from Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi to kill Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, with all these difficulties, he was able to spread the knowledge of real Islam. No Imam among all the previous Imams had the chance to spread the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt like Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. That's why you find a great deal of hadiths narrated in our books from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. And the knowledge of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq was not only among the Shia students, but also he taught the scholars from other sects. Abu Hanifa, the leader of Hanafi sect, it is narrated that he said, لولا السنتان لهلك النعمان. If the 2 years, because he studied 2 years from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, if that 2 years were not there, Nu'man means himself would have been finished. And every scholar who knew Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, all of them said that no one on this earth is more knowledgeable, more pious than Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Nowadays, even among the Western scientists, great scientists who studied the achievements of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam and his contribution to the different fields of knowledge, they admit that he was a unique scholar in the whole history, because he was not only a religious scholar. He was not only teaching people religion only, he taught people other sciences, algebra, chemistry, medicine, and many other sciences. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam taught his students, and his students became pioneers in their fields. Imagine the difficulty that Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam was facing. The ruler Abu Ja'far al-Mansur was not only trying to kill Imam Jafar Sadiq, but he was also trying to kill the Imam after him, because he knew that the Imams, one after another, the 12 Imams. So Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, before leaving this life, when he was being given the poison, he made 5 deputies on his behalf. 5. The 5 include his wife, Hamida, and his son, Abdullah, the eldest son, and the ruler of Medina, who was an enemy, and Abu Ja'far al-Mansur himself, the enemy, and Imam Musa al-Kadhim. So he put a committee of 5 to be his deputies after him, and put Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, one of them, just to protect the Imam from the evil of the tyrant ruler Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. That was one of the ways to protect the Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam. That's why when Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam was being murdered by al-Mansur, some of the Shias were in doubt, in confusion. Who is the Imam after Imam Ja'far Sadiq? And we have got many details in this matter, but we leave it because there is no time for it. We say that Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam, who was the longest in his life, I mean, he lived longest period than any Imam before him. He taught hundreds, I can say thousands. One of the famous Sunni scholars by the name of Ibn al-Washsha. Ibn al-Washsha, very well-known Sunni scholar, he said that I entered the masjid of Kufa and I met 900 scholars. Everyone from them said, I was taught, I was informed, I was told by Ja'far ibn Muhammad alayhi salam.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina, for a beautiful, lengthy answer. Sayyidina, moving on to our questions for this evening. Is there any such thing where it is makruh for a woman to recite more than 7 verses of the Quran during the days of menses?
First of all, I need to explain the meaning of makruh. What is the meaning of makruh? Makruh is one of the 5 categories which we have in Islam for every action. Every human action is either compulsory, which is called wajib, or good but not compulsory. It is called mustahab or sunnat. Or dangerously harmful, which is called haram, like lying, like backbiting, like eating non-halal food, drinking alcohol, and so on. That's called haram because it is dangerously harmful. And some acts are harmful but not dangerously, which are called makruh. Like, for example, it is makruh to drink water during night in the standing position. When you are standing during night, don't drink water. Drink when you are sitting, or sit and drink water. That is makruh. But the makruh itself has two types. Makruh in general acts like eating, drinking, wearing, that is general acts, not worshipping. I said, when you drink water during night, it is makruh to drink while standing. That means that this act is harmful for your health, harmful, but it is not worship. We have got worship in which makruh comes, like makruh for a person who is in the state of janabat, or a female in the state of menstruation, to recite more than some number of verses, 70 or more or less. What is the meaning of this makruh? Makruh in the worshipping does not mean there is no reward. No, there is reward, but the reward is less than the usual reward. Means the lady who is reciting Quran when she is in menstruation will get reward, but her reward will be less than the reward when she recites Quran when she has no menses during the days of purity. So this matter of makruh to recite Quran does not mean there is no reward. There is reward. The lady, the female who is going through her menstrual cycle period or days, should avoid reciting the 4 verses in Quran of the wajib sajda. We have got 4 verses, one in Surah Al-Alaq, and one in Surah Al-Najm, and one in Surah Al-Sajdah, and one in Surah Fussilat, which is known as Hamim Al-Sajdah. So these 4 verses are haram to be recited by the female who is passing her menstrual period, and also by a person who is in the state of janaba. So it is allowed for them to recite Quran except these 4 verses of wajib sajda.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, what is the quantity of gold on which the Shia paid the zakat on?
Okay, zakat. Number 1, zakat is obligatory on 9 items, not on any wealth, not on money. Our Sunni brothers take zakat on money, and most of them don't pay khums But we read from the authentic hadith from the Prophet that we have to pay khums, which is 20% out of the net savings. Zakat is obligatory on 9 items. Number 1, the golden currency, not the gold, the golden currency. The currency which is used by people can be golden, can be silver. Golden currency, silver currency, then 3 types of animals: camels and cows and sheep, and 4 types of crops: wheat, barley, raisins, and dates. If you have golden jewelry, there is no zakat on the golden jewelry. The gold should be in the form of money, currency. That gold, which is in the form of currency, you should have minimum 10 mithqal. And the mithqal is 4 grams, 0.25. Means about 4 grams and quarter, 1 mithqal. So if you have 42 grams, 0.4, then zakat will be obligatory on you. Bismillah.
Thank you very much. You said that. Sayyidina, in the Quran, it says that 1 man is enough to be a witness. However, if a witness is a woman, there needs to be 2 women for the witnessing to be valid. Why is this the reason?
The rules of Islam are always based on the mercy on human beings. Witness usually is required when there is a dispute. When people have dispute, then they go to the court, they go to the authorities. Any authority can be religious authority, like marja of taqleed, or government authority. So witness is required in the disputes. Allah does not want the women to bear the burden of challenging others. That's why the witness of 1 man is accepted. But if a woman wants to give witness, Allah in Quran said, فَتُذَكِّرَ إِحْدَاهُمَا الْأُخْرَى, that the second woman will remind the first one. That's why witness of 1 man is accepted, but 1 woman alone, no, because women should not be under any pressure, under any challenge, in any dispute, and the witness of women should be always supported by other women, then it will be accepted as witness.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. So the next question, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can I send my brother, he is not Haji because he has financial problems, to do Hajj Badal on behalf of my marhum father?
Number 1, I should mention that no one is allowed to perform Hajj on someone else if his own Hajj is not yet being performed. That means that if he is able to perform Hajj, then he should perform his own Hajj first. Before performing his own Hajj, he is not allowed to perform Hajj on behalf of anyone else. Only in the case that he did not perform Hajj, not because of laziness or not giving importance, but because he has no money to go for Hajj. When he has no money to go for Hajj, then he is not obliged to go for Hajj because he is not mustati', means he is unable. And a person who is unable to go for Hajj, Hajj is not wajib on him yet. A person who is not able to go for Hajj, is he allowed to go on behalf of someone else? The answer is yes, he can go, because he did not have Hajj yet wajib on him, because he's unable. He has no money, or he has whatever, any reason which makes him not able to go for Hajj. So responding to your question, if your brother is unable to go for Hajj himself from his own income, then you can send him for Hajj to perform on behalf of anyone else. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Syed. So the next question is basically regarding, are we allowed to be friends or eat from the homes of people who deny Imam Ali alayhi salam? I've heard you must not even shake hands of a person who denies or curses against Imam Ali alayhi salam. Is this true?
You see, we were being told by our infallible Imams to be good to every human being. Allah in the Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Be good to every human being, except the enemies of Allah, except the enemies of
I believe our Islamic scholar has just been disconnected. I think there's some technical issue. So once again, we'll wait for our Islamic scholar to rejoin us. Those who have just tuned in, I'd like to remind the question that our Islamic scholar was answering. The question that came through was, are we allowed to be friends or eat from the homes of those who deny Imam Ali alayhi salam? And I have heard that you must not even shake the hands of a person who denies or curses Imam Ali alayhi salam. That was indeed the question that our Islamic scholar was answering. Sayyidina is back now. Sayyidina, please carry on with your answer of the question, please.
Hello.
Yes, Sayyidina, please carry on with your answer regarding the question about being allowed to eat or be friends with those who deny Imam Ali alayhi salam.
We say in principle, every human being who is not enemy of Allah, we have to be good to him. Every Muslim following any Islamic sect, also we have to deal with them in good way, because all the Muslim ummah are one ummah, except those who are openly against Ahlul Bayt. Anyone who is openly against Ahlul Bayt, like for example Yazid, and anyone on the line of Yazid, the enemies of Ahlul Bayt are in fact not real Muslims. They say that they are Muslims, they give azan and they pray namaz, but if they are enemies of Ahlul Bayt, they are in fact enemies of the Prophet and enemies of Allah. And there's hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam stating that Allah did not create any animal which is more filthy than the dog. Inna Allah azza wa jal lam yakhluq khalqan anjasa min al-kalb. And the enemy of Ahlul Bayt is more najis than the dog. وَإِنَّ النَّاصِبَ لَنَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ لَأَنْجَسُ مِنَ الْكَلْبِ. The enemy of Ahlul Bayt is more najis than a dog. So we don't respect and we don't be friendly with enemies of Ahlul Bayt at all. Anyone who is not enemy of Ahlul Bayt means not enemy of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, and of course enemy means against them openly. We should keep good relationship with every human being and every Muslim except the enemies of Ahlul Bayt.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. The next question, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam rahmatullah.
Was Prophet Yunus alayhi salam punished by letting the whale swallow him?
No. Prophet Yunus is a prophet, and all the prophets are infallible. We don't have any prophet who committed any type of sin at all. He was infallible. Why he was going through that very difficult situation of being taken away anyway in the sea, and then whatever happened to the Prophet Yunus alayhi salam does not mean at all that he committed any sin at all. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Now, if a parent is pure evil for some reason and is not good towards her child, what are her rights then? That after all discussions, but the behavior doesn't change. So what are the rights here of the child, I believe? If a parent is pure evil, what are her rights?
The line is not too clear. I could not hear the question properly, please.
But if a parent is a pure evil for some reason, if a mother or a father is not good towards the child, what are her rights? Like, what are her rights? The child's rights, I believe. And the behavior doesn't change.
Okay. The parents can be good parents and can be bad parents. Children as well can be good children and can be bad children. Rights remain unchangeable. Duties are unchangeable. If the parents were non-believers, as we read in Quran, وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ لِتُشْرِكَ بِي مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. Even if the parents were mushrik, non-believer, polytheists, and they wanted you to be polytheist like them, don't obey them in that matter. But always be good to them. Always in your life, be good to your parents, even if they are non-believers. Imagine if the Beatles were If the parents were Muslims and lovers of Ahlebait, then their rights are very great. It is very obvious, as we read in Quran, Anishkur li waliwalidayka. Allah ordered everyone to be grateful to Allah and to be grateful to his parents. That is the most compulsory duty on every human being after worshipping and being grateful to Allah. You know, being grateful to Allah means remembering Allah, worshipping Allah, obeying Allah. Then after Allah, to be grateful to your parents. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Syed. So moving on, are men allowed to use henna on hands as tattoo designs?
Are men allowed to apply henna on their hands as tattoo? The answer, yes, men are allowed to apply henna as tattoo, or any application, any way of using henna is permissible as far as it does not make them like women. We should not allow man to resemble women and not allow women to resemble man. There's a hadith, لعن الله المتشبهين ولعن الله المتشبهات. Any man who tries to resemble women, to be like her, is cursed by Allah. And any woman who tries to be like man is cursed by Allah. But using henna in a general way, even by using it as drawing like tattoos, it is permissible. Tattoo should not have the name of Allah. And according to obligatory precaution, it should not have the name of any of the infallible Imams, alayhim salam, 14 infallible, the Prophet and Fatima Zahra and the 12 Imams. So tattoo is permissible if it does not involve or it does not contain the name of Allah and the names of the 14 infallibles. Using henna is permissible for man and women, but man should avoid doing anything which makes him like women. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, can I pray my obligatory qadha prayers and nafila prayers together?
Can we pray our qaza namaz along with sunnat namaz? In one namaz, no. In one namaz should have one niyat. As we cannot pray dhuhr and asr both in one namaz. We have to pray dhuhr, then pray asr. No one can pray two different prayers in one prayer. Also, when we are praying qaza namaz, we cannot pray qaza namaz and sunnat namaz together. No. No. Every namaz should have its own intention and own act. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, is it halal to have an image of God while praying? Not an actual imagination of a body, but rather just some sort of sense, so you can concentrate in prayers when you're trying to think of Allah.
Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. This question might have come from wrong thinking about Allah. Non-Muslims think that Allah has got a physical body. And some Muslims have taken this wrong understanding from non-Muslims. Allah, nothing is like him. No one is allowed to imagine. Imagining what? Those who want to imagine, they imagine something in their minds, which is from shaitan. No one is allowed to imagine Allah because it is out of the limits of our thinking. No question of imagination of Allah at all. The person who sent the question, I tell him, always seek refuge of Allah from satanic thoughts. Astaghfirullah, Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. It is not permissible at all to imagine Allah in any shape. Out of question, whatever some people imagine, it is not Allah, it is something whispered in their minds by shaitan.
Thank you very much. Sayyidina, we got one final minute left of the show, unfortunately, this evening. If you can to just finish up with some words of wisdom, please.
I want to remind our dear brothers and sisters to convey the message of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq to those who don't know him. Easily you can get through the internet many of the great sayings of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Try to pass them to your friends and your relatives, your colleagues. Let people know a little bit from the great knowledge, guidance, light of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. And we here extend our condolences to our Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjarallahu ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif, and to all his servants, the Maraja of Taqleed, and all the mu'mineen in the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alihi wa ajjil faraj.